Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be featuring a team in Master League. It's very similar to the team, my favorite team, but instead of Yveltal we're using Giratina. This makes it better against like Zacian, but like worse against like Mewtwo or Dialga or a number of other picks. But Giratina, in my opinion, is like one of the safest Pokemon. In Masters, there's only a few Pokemon that wallet that are meta, which Yveltal is probably like borderline meta. It's not on every team, but it's something certain you can come across. So overall, I went 14 and 11 with this team. Maybe one game I definitely could have won if I played it a little bit better. We're gonna show off two sets here. You can see the rest of the battles on uh, Twitch, twitch.tv/KingIV. So Giratina is one of the leads where I would have just tried to catch the move if I had Yveltal, but in this case I'm deciding to play it out. Mostly because I'm hoping that they're like double steal in the back and it's not Dialga in the back. They actually go for the ominous win. Very interesting. And I'm gonna be able to reach the Stone Edge before they'll reach the Shadow Ball. They could throw in an ominous win, but I would survive it. And you'll see later on they throw the ominous win here, which I actually end up surviving. But I only get one more mud shot off, which is fine. And I go into Dialga, and they come into Malmetal. I do expect them to have another steal in the back, which is why I stayed. I'm actually waiting for them to throw the superpower, and they actually decide to throw the rock slide at me, which is pretty interesting. I'm still outside of range of the superpower, so I am still waiting for them to throw. They throw the rock slide, and I'm gonna throw the Draco at them, and then I'm gonna look to switch, and I'm gonna look to Shadow Claw down this Malmetal. I'm in a pretty okay spot, and they come into this is for sure an ominous win, but I'm going to farm down this Giratina, and then I'm just gonna throw Shadow Balls at whatever comes in. It ends up being the Groudon, so I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Here comes Shadow Ball, and I'm gonna throw another Shadow Ball at them, and I'm in a very good spot right now. And I'm gonna switch out into Dialga. They'll barely survive this Iron Head, but they're gonna be too low of HP to be able to do anything substantial at this point in time. I'm gonna let this go because I can just Shadow Claw down. Really, no need for me to shield here. Even if I shield, I would have won anyway. So I end up Shadow Clawing down. So worked out pretty nicely for me. Calling the two baits, not really calling the bait. I was just waiting for them to superpower since they were locked in. So. And then as well trying to inflict as much damage as possible so I could Shadow Claw down the Melmetal. Honestly, I probably could have switched out right away, to be honest, but I was also anticipating that maybe it was going to be Drill in the back, so I wanted to preserve as much as possible. All right, so we have Landorus into Dialga. I'm not 100% sure the best way to play this, and they come into Mewtwo. I do expect it to be Kyogre in the back. Seems to be a pretty common trio. So they throw the Side Strike. They need two moves to KO anyways. Like one Shadow Ball wouldn't be able to KO, and they wouldn't be able to Psycho Cut down. So I do go for the bait because I do expect them to. We're just gonna play the 2 shield, and very interesting. I thought it was gonna be a CMP tie there, but I'm not quite sure what happened there because they didn't get a Psycho Cut through either. And now I'm just gonna double shield and farm down. And I'm gonna shield. And they come into Dialga. I'm going to switch out. I can survive in Iron Head. So I am going to build up to double superpower and look to unload both superpowers. And I do expect it to be a Kyogre in the back. And they should be able to farm me down. I'm double debuff plus it's super effective. I don't expect the Mewtwo to come in because it's quite low, has very little energy. Here comes the Kyogre. And I can win the 0 even if they land the Blizzard, but I'm gonna wait the clock, and then I'm gonna see if they have a Blizzard. And so I'm gonna count to 7. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm able to switch there. They would have to throw my Giratina anyways. They end up throwing the Blizzard, and I'm in a very good spot. And they come into Mewtwo. Not really too much they can do though. Even if they, I guess if they caught the Draco, then maybe they have a chance there, but probably not. Still, honestly, I'd probably still make it to another Draco, especially since they threw the Blizzard. But obviously, very tough situation for them there. That's where Yveltal has a cleaner matchup. So this is a very complicated situation for me. Um, so I play this. You'll see this. I play this game all sorts of wrong here. So what I should have done here is I should have baited with the superpower because I have the move here, and then I don't know why I was thinking here. I should just throw the superpower at this at the Rayquaza because it ends up like biting me in the end. And you'll see here they throw the breaking swipe. They come to Zacian, and I think they actually end up having no play rough, so I no shield. They have wild charge, and they're gonna get to another wild charge, which is fine. And I'm gonna do one, and they're very debuffed right now, so I'm gonna throw the ominous wind and look to Shadow Claw down. And I actually end up getting the boost. And here I should have baited the Rayquaza. I thought they were gonna call the bait here, but I should have baited it, and then I would have been in a better spot here. So I make all sorts of errors here, and I don't throw the ominous wind for whatever reason. I don't know why I didn't throw, but this game's over anyway. So um, it ends up being a heat trend in the back. It would have been a tough situation anyways. I guess like I probably would have been able to put it low enough because I would have been able to land the move, and then I could then come in and Draco the Heatran. There was all sorts of plays for me there, just not executed well on my part. And that's the challenging part of like using a different team every day is because I'm not necessarily used to how to play the matchups. So again, this is a good lead, but again, a little bit awkward. Um, I can survive the Iron Head. They actually try to catch, and then they play this interesting here. So they throw the Sky Attack. I think they're at 6. So I throw the Shadow Ball. And very interesting that they didn't throw. They definitely had the move, but they didn't throw. So it was kind of weird. And I'm just going to throw the Shadow Ball no matter what. Ends up being Dialga, obviously. They take it. And then I come to my own Dialga because I expect them to be double weak in the back. And they end up coming to with Groudon. It's too risky for me to call the bait here. Because even if they bait me, I still have like tons of play. Especially since they don't have a Draco yet on their Dialga. And I'm in a very good spot here. And I decide to switch and catch. I expect this to be a Fire Punch. Unfortunately, they're not low enough that one superpower will KO them. So I throw the superpower. I have to throw again. And then their Dialga is just like way too low. Like they're not gonna be able to make it to an Iron Head bait and then land the Draco meter. So it doesn't really matter too much at this point in time. A shield, and they really should just go for the Draco here. I guess if they have the Draco. Otherwise, if they don't have the Draco, then they should just. There's not really any point in playing the rest of the match out there. But they should just throw the Draco if they have it, because it's the only win con. In case like I call it, thinking I need to call a no shield or something, or I try no shield flex, right? So. All right, we're gonna have Landorus into Dialga, so this is a favorable lead again. But kind of awkward to try to play out. So I throw the superpower. I throw the superpower again. Here, maybe I should have switched out, but then they end up throwing which is fine for me. I'm up a shield. I'm in a good spot. I am able to farm down. They come into Groudon. So I look to try to CMP tie with the Precious Blade. So if they shield here, I think I no shield this. I no shield this. They end up Fire Punch baiting me. I have 2 shields up, so the bait makes total sense. And then I expect them to bait again. Oh, I'm not going to shield regardless. Even if they Precious Blade me, it's not a big deal. And then they Fire Punch, so which I survive. And they come into Giratina and they realize that it's over here. So end up going 4-1 in that set. Takes a little while to find my next matchup here. And then we run to another Dialga lead. One of these Dialga leads I played very poorly. I take the Iron Head, so I can survive the Iron Head. And they come into Giratina. Oh yeah, this one here. It was a very tricky situation for me. I shield this. I'm really not 100% sure how I should play this. Perhaps I should take the... Yeah, I don't know here. They come into their own Dialga. And they actually throw the Draco Meteor, which is actually a little bit surprising here. And honestly, I should have went into Giratina here. I should went into Giratina here, especially since they're debuffed and they have no energy. And it's not, yeah, it ends up being a Palkia, which is absolutely disastrous for me. I go for the bait. I really need the boost here, to be honest, to have any chance. And the opponent throws a really nice timing here. Maybe I could have survived this here. I don't know here. It would have been really close. I don't know. I mean, I probably should have. No, I thought I could survive an Aqua Tail, which I end up surviving the Aqua Tail, and they gave me the Mud Shot, which I do end up surviving, but unfortunately, I'm like 1 Mud Shot short of the Stone Edge. Otherwise, the Stone Edge does like around 50%. Does 7% more than that. It's so close there. But perhaps my best play would have been to no shield, hope I survive, and get the Shadow Ball off, and then build up and then shield and Stone Edge. Right, that's probably was the best play on my side there. But tricky team, or no shield the Dialga, or farm it down and then Draco the opposing Dialga or something. I'm not quite sure. So, anyways, this is a good lead for me. I have 2 answers to it. So they're staying in. So I'm very curious of why they're staying in. So I throw the superpower, and then I'm going to look to switch to Giratina, which I ended up catching the Rock Slide. They actually come to Drill here, which is a very interesting play. And they want to throw on CMP. I know the Shadow Ball isn't one shot here anyway, so I'm going to farm up a little bit before throwing. So I throw the Shadow Ball. They actually end up shielding, which is fine for me. And then they end up CMP tying me again. Totally fine. I actually slightly miscount here. I actually want to go 1 turn sooner and then throw the superpower at them, but that's fine. I was expecting them to switch, so that's why I don't throw right away. And then as well, they didn't have a move anyway, so I wasn't going to threaten anyway. So I throw the Stone Edge. They're going to be able to beat me to the move. But I know this doesn't KO, so they throw the Sky Attack. I do 1 and throw the Stone Edge. And I'm actually going to undercharge this Stone Edge. And then they're going to farm me down. And then, so that way I have energy on Dialga, and I in a pretty good spot. They come into Melmetal, and they have to throw. They Rock Slide. And then I'm going to CMP tie this Drill. So I throw the Iron Head, which should be enough to take out the Drill. I end up shielding this, respecting the superpower, but they ended up throwing the rock slide at me. I was like, oh, I would definitely survive the superpower anyway. So, but worked out fine for me. All right, and then we're into like this Dragonite's also very tough for me to deal with. Um, they play this matchup really nicely here. So I win the 0 versus Dragonite. I contemplated shielding here because I could bait and then land the move. I end up just barely surviving. I land the Stone Edge, and they come into drill here, and I don't know. I thought it was gonna be some harder answer to drill, so I ended up shielding here. But I should just thrown the Drake Meal and switched. Try to CMP tie. I really wanted them to CMP tie me, but this opponent played it really nicely here, and yeah, uh, yeah, they played it really nicely here. So they throw the drill run, and now I'm just gonna shield, double shield and farm down, and then hope that I have enough energy to take out the Dragonite because I can get to a Shadow Ball and bang like a 100 energy here. But if I switch it sooner, it would have been better here. So um, they come into Dragonite, which is a nice play by them their side, and they actually have the Dragon Claw already. And I'm one short of the ominous win here, which is absolutely just devastating for me. I think they end up having a Metagross in the back, which is what I that's why I wanted to sack the Dialga versus the Drill because I know it's gonna be Metagross in the back, but maybe if I switch out sooner, then I could still take out the Metagross. I don't know. They played it very nicely there. It was a really nice team. All right, so Terrakion here. This is a very good lead for me. I have multiple good answers to it. They actually come into Meloetta here, and I decided to switch out into Dialga. Maybe I should have thrown at it, to be honest. But since they stayed in a little bit, they must be double weak. So I'm not actually even worried about actually being this Meloetta. I'm gonna throw the Iron Head. I'm just gonna put it low enough that I can mud shot down. And I'm going to mud shot this down. This opponent makes kind of a sneaky play here. They come into Terrakion and then they immediately switch into Lugia, which I see the switch. I guess they assumed I was going to superpower right away. They end up shielding here. So I'm going to throw 4 and then throw the Stone Edge, store good timing. It was definitely a nice attempt, but it doesn't really matter at this point in time because I'm not too fearful of the Terrakion. I'm going to survive this, and I'm going to be able to survive the next Dragon Tail and just barely get off this move. And now their Lugia is going to be at like almost no HP if they no shield. And it will Shadow Claw down, and really there's not too much the opponent can do at that point in time. So I was very good against Terrakion. It's a very interesting team. Very wild team, to be honest. Terrakion, Meloetta, and Lugia. All right. Mewtwo leads, I'm not 100% sure to play, to be honest. I go into Dialga, and they throw the Side Strike here. No, they throw the Shadow Ball here, and then I count to 4.5, and then I throw right before they make it to the Side Strike, which should be enough to KO. And they actually come into Dialga, and I actually think I just barely make it to the Iron Head, which is fortunate for me. I don't know if it makes like too big a difference, to be honest here. But here I should have went into Giratina. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Do I no shield this here? I end up shielding here, and then I build up to double superpower. Actually, build up to like right before the Iron Head. So there's one dragon right before the Iron Head. So if they shield this, I can throw another superpower. Then they actually come into Rayquaza here. I think it's Rayquaza. But again, I should have baited here. and maybe I would have been in a better spot. But this is GG here. Rayquaza is very tough for me in the back. So um, if I would have made like the 5-head prediction, but two shield Rayquaza would have been way too tough for me here. Here I'm just like praying for the boost, but I don't end up getting it. So yeah, this is no chance for me. So I end up no shielding here. Overall, this was a pretty fun team. I enjoyed playing it. I always enjoy playing Master League. I'll probably play Master League tomorrow morning for the final day, since I have a coaching session with Pokedaxi. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.